Hello, dear friends. Be careful what you say. Some are suffering more than what they agreed upon in their soul contract before they were born. Opinion piece. Cheer and stress. Gaia is tired. People are tired. Leaders are tired. But there is very good news. The dark side doesn't have a B plan. Let's start. After eons of violence, Mother Gaia is very tired of war because more than two dozen battles are being fought around the world. All conflicts will be exhausted when it reduces the fuel to low frequency energy, and it can start reconciliation. But there are good news. Amidst that conflicting energy, there are thoughts about a world whose pillars are love, wealth, diversity, and humanity's close relationship with animals and nature, says Matthew Watt through his mother Susan. Some of you feel discouraged by the violence and suffering in the Holy Land, as if progress have taken a big step backwards. Compassion for all those souls helps reduce the stressful energy around them, but being drawn emotionally into trauma anywhere sends out low frequencies that prolong the terrible circumstances. But progress is right at the goal of the divine plan, and many of you are feeling the thrill of ever increasing light. The power of the white one comes from the control of information and the global economy. Therefore, it is encouraging that many dark leaders are tired of being caught up in the turmoil, as fewer and fewer people believe the media, and the weak are grasping at straws in the global money supply. For them, it is paralyzing to lose the means to pay for all that, because they are running out of money. Everything they do requires money. Manipulating the stock market, establishing banking policies, buying mercenaries, bribing leaders, placing puppets in the legal and judicial systems, corporate executives and other influential people, controlling affiliated alphabet agencies, the owners of the media and internet censors. Duality. There are two categories of thoughts. The high-frequency positive category, which constantly growing momentum shows a healthy and peaceful world where people are loving, kind, and helpful, life is prosperous and meaningful, and animals are treated humanely. This type of thinking is the most abundant. The other negative category is the low frequency of fear, anger, pain, division, and thoughts with the intention of destroying life and the environment. There are the dense energy reactions to anything, from chaos and confusion to fear and outrage, even from individuals who are not directly affected. Get rid of thoughts that are trivial or frustrating, or that are guilty or resentful in nature, because they are a waste of energy. Nurturing that type of thinking impedes the healing that comes with apologizing or forgiving. Two immensely important but often neglected aspects of life. Take time to think happily so that you can shine with the high frequency of smile, laughter, and enthusiasm. War. We have been asked if everyone who dies or faces extreme conditions in the Middle East signed up for this experience. Length of life and sudden departure fit some soul contracts, and others include adversity to overcome. But most affected souls did not choose death at that time, not the harsh circumstances and desperation of living in an environment troubled. Despite the penchant of the wicked to start or exacerbate unrest wherever and whenever they can, not much interest in a world war has been aroused. But even if such a sinister enterprise had one, the universal family would not have let it take off. Divine grace intervenes in this type of situations. Soul evolution comes from a balanced experience, and achieving balance is the goal of every soul in every life. By giving full credit for incomplete karmic lessons, divine grace grants state of balance to people whose lives are shortened or whose difficulties are greater than they choose. Many of the citizens have experienced greater challenges and more difficulties than their soul contract demands. You are right if you feel that you have faced more difficult problems than you expected when you volunteered, and the people you came to help have struggled more than you expected when you decided to finish third density lessons. Souls in the spirit worlds planning their next physical life feel confident that they can manage the conditions that will balance their experience and allow them to evolve. Over time, we all do not realize that it is much easier to choose difficult situations with audacity and courage than to face them once we are in the body, because it is one thing to see the bulls from the sidelines, and another thing is to fight them with skill. Cleaning. Those are the thoughts of the drivers, awakening among the peoples whom you came to help in this way, and to inspire everyone to transform the earth into a place of peace, love, health, and joy. Together, you are an excellent complement of visionaries, workers, imaginatives, and artisans, and you will have splendid helpers. Members of the universal family are eager to show up and work alongside you. We do not see the threshold of the golden age of Earth at the end of the battle between the forces of light and darkness. Rather, we are witnessing at this juncture an intense process of cleansing, clearing away the rubble of long ages and building something new to replace what was devastated by a planetary cyclone, and then a series of edifying and enlightening measures according to the needs of each group of humanity in each region of each country. It will be an exciting process for people who have no conscious memory of life in a serene and harmonious world instead of a world with continuous wars, cooperation instead of ruthless competition, health and godliness instead of disease and strife. In this process, civilization will grow towards unity consciousness, which vibrates at the benevolent end of the frequency spectrum. Unity doesn't exclude free thinking, reasoning, questioning, and respect for the best independent opinions. Quite the contrary, it includes that independence and much more in the power of love that permeates the entire being of a population. Only an individual or civilization of fifth density or higher can resonate with the light of unity consciousness in a conscious spiritual consciousness. When you are on a mission like right now, you do not remember the consciousness of unity of your homeland, but the light that you radiate always distinguishes your evolutionary state. As a divine child, you are a powerful source of love, a tower of strength and wisdom, and you stand tall by living according to the guidance of your soul, consciousness, intuition, instinct, inspiration, and aspirations. You have the honor and conditional love and support of all beings of light in this universe. Reset News. The countdown clock says that the Great Awakening would happen in 13 days. The round letter timer was reset to the minute after Kissinger's death. The dark side does not have a plan B. There is no other path than transparency. X22 report. Countries are beginning to move away from the agenda and the game is over. People are rising up and the economy is imploding. French farmers dumped waste in front of state buildings. Charlie Watt says the walls that protected the guilty will crumble under the weight of indisputable evidence, exposing their actions before witnesses around the world. The implication of this great revelation will reverberate across nations, sparking unprecedented outrage and demanding justice on a scale never seen before. Stargate newsletter by Sierra. If there is a green light, it would be the exit signal throughout the world. There are hundreds in plural, of messages in the last 20 years that indicate that there will be a world event that will shake people out of their slumber. It's just a matter of when, and the moment is getting closer. The messages indicate that even the most experienced warriors of light will be impacted by the event, but we will recover much faster than the sleepers. They had the same opportunity as us to acclimate to the incoming superior energy, but they choose to ignore it. Therefore, their awakening will be abrupt, and that is where we will be needed to calm people down. If you have prepared well, you can relax and trust the process. When the world event arrives, you will know what to do instinctively. The Etna volcano erupts in Sicily, coinciding with the solar storm. The Vatican banned several secret Gospels of Jesus. Economy. Gold rose to a high on Friday of 7 months. Gold reached a new high of $2,080. Investors tend to flock to gold during periods of global turmoil, while lower yields also make it more attractive. The Fed will cut interest rates 6 times in 2024. Saudi Arabia could flood the oil market with an avalanche of supply to regain control of the prices in the face of increased production. Israel prohibits the entry of aid trucks into Gaza through the Rafah crossing. Putin calls for women to have 8 more children to compensate for war deaths. The EU resells Russian gas. More than a fifth of the Russian liquefied natural gas that reaches Europe is resent to other parts of the world. Another large city in the UK declares bankruptcy. Like Birmingham, Nottingham has been immersed in economic difficulties in recent months due to a significant budget gap. Job offers for Spaniards in Sweden with an average salary of 45,000 euros per year. Leaving the BRICS would distance Argentina from the world's largest trading bloc. Orange alert declared in Montevideo and southern Uruguay due to intense rains. Solar storm. NASA warns of a cannibalistic solar storm due to 4 coronal mass ejections that would put communications at risk. This Saturday, geomagnetic storms of the G3 level are perceived for the second day. This increase in solar activity was mainly caused by a coronal mass ejection associated with an M-class solar flare, which has recorded on November 28th and which joined several other smaller ejections that were already approaching Earth. The Ophiuchus effect begins as mindering northern lights appear at usually low latitudes with a geomagnetic storm. The 2 solar waves impacted the Earth's magnetic field on December 1st, causing a strong G3 class solar storm. The storm appears to be subsiding now, but it is not over yet. Minor G1 class activity is likely in the next few hours. Captured a large coronal hole in the Sun. From that area, less dense than the surrounding plasma, high-speed solar winds escape and are directed towards the Earth and cause geomagnetic storms. The National Office of Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration posted on its website an image of a large coronal hole in the Sun, captured on the night of December 1st and 2nd, as the Earth begins to experience the second day of a strong solar storms. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.